From the White House to Windsor Castle, America's first family and the British royal family have been breaking bread and strengthening ties today. The series of ceremonies in the UK full of pomp and pageantry, with Donald Trump calling it one of the highest honours of his life.
The royal banquet at Windsor Castle glittered with gold and history, yet beneath the chandeliers it turned into something far more dramatic. A night meant to celebrate elegance became a battlefield of fashion, where dreams soared and reputations silently crumbled. The royals entered the hall like figures from a story. Some stunned the world with brilliance, while others became the target of whispers sharper than any jewel. How can one gown grant a queen majesty, while another drags her into shame? And how can fashion reshape royal legacy before the eyes of the world? This was a night no fairy tale could imagine, the fashion disasters that made headlines. Sometimes, even the most beloved royals can miss the mark completely. Princess Anne, known worldwide for her incredible work ethic and dedication to royal duties, unfortunately delivered what many considered the evening's biggest fashion disappointment. The woman who tirelessly represents the crown at countless events deserved so much better than what appeared to be a forgotten piece from her wardrobe's deepest corners. Picture this scenario. You're frantically searching through clothes you haven't touched in decades, pulling out something that might have looked decent years ago, only to realize it's seen better days. That's exactly what this outfit conveyed to millions watching around the world. The fabric looked tired and worn, the styling felt completely outdated, and the overall impression was of someone who had simply stopped caring about making any kind of positive impact. The most frustrating part wasn't just the poor clothing choice itself. Anne had selected the absolutely stunning pine flower tiara for the occasion.
If you're considering a real tiara for your wedding day, then here are some styles to consider, as well as some key points to bear in mind to make sure that you get the tiara that's just right for you, whether you're spending tens or hundreds of thousands of pounds.
A breathtaking aquamarine masterpiece that had recently been showcased in major jewelry exhibitions across London. This incredible piece told stories of royal heritage and masterful craftsmanship, making it even more heartbreaking to see it paired with such a lackluster ensemble. The disconnect created an uncomfortable visual mess that was impossible to ignore. Here was this magnificent piece of royal history sitting atop an outfit that looked like it belonged in a charity shop rather than Windsor Castle's grand dining hall. For someone who represents the monarchy at hundreds of official events every single year, this particular choice felt like a waste of an opportunity to showcase the dignity and elegance that royal occasions are supposed to embody. What made the situation even more disappointing was thinking about all the preparation that goes into state visits. These events are planned months in advance, with every detail carefully considered and coordinated. Teams of people work tirelessly to ensure everything runs smoothly, from the guest list to the menu to the entertainment. Yet somehow, one of the most important visual elements, what the royals themselves would be wearing, seemed like an afterthought in this case. Queen Camilla presented her own set of challenges throughout the day's events, though her issues stemmed from completely different problems. Rather than looking completely unprepared, she appeared to have made the safest possible choices, so safe, in fact, that they became dangerously boring. Both her afternoon greeting outfit and evening banquet ensemble followed virtually identical patterns, creating the strange illusion that she had somehow magically lengthened the same dress as the day progressed. The shapeless silhouette that Camilla has embraced as her signature look might provide comfort and ease of movement, but state visits demand more than just personal comfort. These are moments when the eyes of the world are watching, when photographs will be analyzed and remembered for decades to come. They become part of official historical records, documenting not just political relationships between nations, but also cultural exchanges and personal diplomacy. Her choice to essentially repeat the same styling approach from previous recent state visits suggested either a lack of imagination or perhaps a reluctance to take any fashion risks whatsoever. The Belgian sapphire tiara, while undoubtedly beautiful, had already made its prominent appearance at the French state visit just a few months earlier. When paired with what appeared to be recycled pieces from her existing wardrobe, the entire presentation read more like someone going through the motions rather than someone genuinely excited to represent her country on such an important occasion. This approach becomes particularly problematic when you consider the specific audience and context. American state visits carry special weight in terms of international relations, representing the ongoing friendship between two of the world's most influential democratic nations. The visual impact of these diplomatic moments extends far beyond fashion magazines or royal watching websites. They're studied by political analysts, discussed in international media, and remembered by historians as symbols of the relationship between countries. When the styling appears lazy or uninspired, it inadvertently communicates messages about priorities, respect for guests, and commitment to the role itself. The magnificent necklace from Mrs. Greville's historic collection deserved to be the crowning jewel of a spectacular ensemble, not a desperate attempt to add some sparkle to an otherwise forgettable look. These historic pieces carry the stories of previous royal generations, connecting current royalty to centuries of tradition, elegance, and diplomatic excellence. The most tragic part of these fashion missteps was how they overshadowed what could have been triumphant moments. Both Princess Anne and Queen Camilla are hard-working, dedicated members of the royal family who deserve to be celebrated for their contributions to public service. Instead, their fashion choices became the story, distracting from their important roles in facilitating diplomatic relationships and representing British values to international guests. Mixed results from international guests. The American contingent brought their own fascinating mix of successes and questionable decisions to Windsor Castle's historic halls. Each choice told its own story about personal style, diplomatic awareness, and understanding of royal protocol, with varying degrees of success that kept fashion watchers talking long after the evening concluded. Tiffany Trump's selection immediately grabbed attention with its vibrant blue shade that seemed to scream patriotic pride while simultaneously nodding to the royal blue traditionally associated with British monarchy. The color choice demonstrated clear diplomatic intelligence, creating a visual bridge between two nations through something as simple as fabric selection. However, the execution raised serious questions about understanding the level of formality required for such prestigious occasions. The dress itself possessed an unmistakably pageant-like quality that felt somewhat out of place against Windsor Castle's centuries-old stone walls and priceless artwork. While there's absolutely nothing wrong with pageant-style fashion in appropriate contexts, state banquets operate under entirely different rules than typical formal events. The level of elegance and sophistication expected goes far beyond regular evening wear into territory that requires understanding both historical precedent and contemporary diplomatic protocol. Royal events, particularly those held at venues like Windsor Castle, carry the weight of hundreds of years of tradition. Every guest becomes part of that continuing story, and their appearance choices either honor that heritage or accidentally diminish it. The challenge for international visitors lies in finding ways to express their own national identity and personal style while still respecting the host country's customs and expectations. That said, the photographs from the evening showed how beautifully the blue dress captured light and created striking visual moments against the castle's ornate interior. Sometimes the smallest details carry the most significant diplomatic weight, and the color selection certainly achieved its goal of creating memorable, meaningful imagery that would be shared across international media outlets. Melania Trump's approach to the entire visit created its own compelling narrative about the intersection of personal style and public diplomacy. Her daytime Christian Dior ensemble demonstrated technical perfection in terms of construction and fit, but the dark color palette created unexpected challenges when it came to photographic reproduction and visual impact in group settings. The accompanying hat choice continued a pattern that had been established during previous high-profile public appearances, creating an aura of mystery and intentional distance that many interpreted as deliberate messaging. Fashion often serves as a form of non-verbal communication, particularly for public figures who have limited opportunities to speak directly to media or express personal opinions in traditional formats. For the evening's main celebration, her Carolina Herrera gown represented a dramatic departure into much brighter, more optimistic territory. The sunny yellow base color created instant warmth and energy, while the lilac accent details added unexpected sophistication and demonstrated adventurous color-blocking sensibilities. The combination could have been garish in less skilled hands, but the execution managed to feel both bold and refined. However, questions persisted about whether the overall visual impact truly matched the grandeur and significance of the occasion itself. State banquets represent those rare moments when fashion rules not only allow but actively encourage maximum drama and spectacular impact.
Well, more now on President Trump's historic visit to the UK. The royals hosting the first couple with a banquet at Windsor Castle.
These are the special occasions when wearing something truly extraordinary isn't just acceptable. It's practically mandatory for anyone hoping to hold their own in rooms filled with historic jewelry and centuries of sartorial tradition. The most unquestionably successful element of Melania's entire evening look came through her strategic jewelry selection. The massive diamond and emerald statement earrings demonstrated sophisticated understanding of how to compete visually in a room filled with priceless tiaras and historic royal jewels that have been passed down through generations of monarchs. American guests at British royal events face unique challenges when it comes to accessories. They obviously can't match the heritage pieces worn by working royals, centuries-old diamonds, sapphires, and emeralds that carry both monetary and historical value beyond calculation. However, they can create their own moments of magnificence through carefully chosen contemporary pieces that complement rather than attempt to outshine their hosts. The emerald and diamond combination proved particularly inspired because it created visual harmony with the yellow and lilac color scheme while adding the kind of serious sparkle that photographs beautifully under formal lighting conditions. These details matter enormously in diplomatic contexts, where every image becomes part of the official record and helps shape public perception of international relationships. The overall assessment of the American fashion presence at this state visit revealed the complexity of dressing for such occasions. Success requires balancing personal style with diplomatic appropriateness, national representation with respect for host customs, and individual comfort with the demands of historical significance. Some choices worked better than others, but all contributed to the evening's overall visual narrative. What became clear throughout the evening was how much these fashion choices mattered beyond simple aesthetics. They became talking points in international media, subjects for diplomatic analysis, and elements that would be remembered and referenced for years to come. The pressure to get everything right must have been enormous, making the successes all the more impressive and the missteps all the more understandable. The princess who stole every heart. Then came Catherine, Princess of Wales, who reminded everyone exactly why she has become a global fashion phenomenon and diplomatic asset.
Princess Kate during his state banquet speech at Windsor Castle, praising her as radiant, healthy, and so beautiful as she sat on his right. How did she react to that, Kinsey?
Her approach to this crucial state visit demonstrated absolute mastery of using clothing as a tool for both personal expression and international diplomacy, creating moments that will be remembered and referenced for decades to come. Her daytime appearance set the stage perfectly with an Amelia Wickstead coat dress that struck every right note for greeting world leaders at one of Britain's most important royal residences. The rich burgundy color provided exactly the right amount of warmth and richness, while photographing beautifully against Windsor Castle's ancient stone architecture. The carefully modified styling, featuring adjusted belt placement and customized button details, showed meticulous attention to personal fit and preference while maintaining the designer's intended elegant silhouette. Every single accessory choice reinforced the outfit's diplomatic and aesthetic success. The Jane Taylor hat added precisely the right level of formality, appropriate for welcoming international dignitaries while maintaining thoroughly modern elegance that felt fresh rather than stuffy. The Prince of Wales brooch carried both personal significance and historical weight, subtly referencing her important title and role within the royal hierarchy while honoring the long tradition of meaningful royal jewelry. Even seemingly small details like her choice to switch from the formal hat to a more relaxed bow when moving from outdoor greetings to indoor conversations demonstrated sophisticated understanding of how formal royal events flow and evolve throughout the day. These adjustments show the kind of protocol awareness that separates truly successful royal fashion from simply wearing expensive clothes. The introduction of new diamond and ruby earrings provided exactly the right touch of freshness to what could have been an entirely predictable ensemble. This willingness to incorporate carefully chosen new pieces while maintaining overall conservative appropriateness demonstrates the kind of sophisticated fashion judgment that has made Catherine such a respected style icon. It represents the difference between playing things safe and playing them smart, taking calculated risks that pay off beautifully. But her evening transformation, that's where Catherine truly transcended typical royal fashion expectations and created something genuinely magical that will be talked about for years. The Philippa Lepley creation didn't just meet the high expectations that surround her public appearances. It established an entirely new standard for what modern royal glamour could achieve in the 21st century. The layered construction featuring an intricate lace overlay cape over a sleek crepe foundation gown created the kind of visual complexity that rewards closer inspection while maintaining stunning impact from a distance. This kind of sophisticated design work requires not just talented designers, but also the confidence and poise to carry such elaborate styling successfully. The Fairytale comparisons that immediately flooded social media weren't superficial or accidental reactions. The styling genuinely evoked classic princess imagery from beloved stories and films while maintaining thoroughly contemporary sophistication that felt completely appropriate for a modern working royal. The cape element added dramatic movement and visual interest, creating the kind of photographic opportunities that generate lasting iconic images. What elevated this look far beyond simple prettiness was its absolute appropriateness for the specific occasion, setting, and diplomatic context. Windsor Castle's medieval architecture and historic interiors provided the perfect backdrop for the gown's romantic, almost theatrical styling. The formal protocol requirements of state banquets allowed for exactly this level of drama and spectacle that might seem excessive in other contexts. The behind-the-scenes content shared through official social media channels added another compelling layer to the overall fashion story. Seeing glimpses of the preparation process, the attention to detail in styling, and Catherine's genuine enjoyment of getting ready for such significant occasions helped humanize what could otherwise seem like purely superficial concerns about clothing and appearance. These candid moments reminded everyone that royal fashion isn't just about looking pretty or following trends. It's about understanding responsibility, respecting tradition, and using personal presentation as a form of soft diplomacy that can influence international relationships and public perception. Catherine's obvious pleasure in the process showed someone who genuinely understands and embraces this aspect of her public role. The evening look succeeded so completely because it balanced multiple competing demands with apparent effortlessness. It honored centuries of royal fashion tradition while expressing distinctly personal style. It showed appropriate respect for international guests while creating memorable moments that would enhance Britain's cultural reputation. It demonstrated serious commitment to the occasion while maintaining the kind of joy and elegance that makes royal watching such a popular global pastime. Most importantly, it proved that modern royal fashion can be both meaningful and magical. Catherine's transformation reminded everyone why people around the world continue following royal events and fashion choices, not just because they're expensive or exclusive, but because at their best, they provide glimpses of beauty, elegance, and aspiration that feel increasingly rare in everyday life. The success of both her daytime and evening looks also highlighted the importance of understanding context and making appropriate adjustments while maintaining consistent personal style. The same person who looked perfectly diplomatic and professional while greeting world leaders could transform into a fairy tale princess for the evening's formal celebrations, demonstrating remarkable versatility and style intelligence. This state visit will be remembered for many diplomatic and political reasons, but Catherine's fashion choices ensured it will also be remembered as a moment when royal style reached new heights of both beauty and cultural significance. She didn't just wear beautiful clothes, she created lasting images that capture the magic and importance of royal tradition in the modern world. The contrast between Catherine's triumphant success and the disappointing choices made by other participants provided valuable lessons about the importance of preparation, understanding context, and taking royal responsibilities seriously. Her approach showed what's possible when talent, effort, and genuine enthusiasm combine with access to the world's best designers and historic jewelry collections. Looking back at this particular evening, Catherine's fairy tale transformation will stand as a perfect example of how royal fashion can transcend mere clothing to become art, diplomacy, and cultural significance, all rolled into one unforgettable moment. She reminded everyone why royal fashion matters and why it continues capturing imaginations around the world. The diplomatic impact of her stunning appearance shouldn't be underestimated either. In a world where soft power and cultural influence play increasingly important roles in international relations, Catherine's fashion success represented a genuine victory for British style and royal tradition. She made her country look sophisticated, elegant, and culturally significant on a global stage. Her evening at Windsor Castle proved that when royal fashion is done right, it creates ripple effects that extend far beyond entertainment or celebrity culture. It becomes a form of cultural diplomacy that can influence how entire nations are perceived and remembered. Catherine's fairy tale moment was simultaneously personal triumph and national asset. If you found yourself captivated by the magic and drama of royal fashion at its finest, make sure to like and subscribe for more exclusive insights into the world's most watched wardrobes. Because when fairy tales come to life in the halls of historic castles, we'll be there to bring you every stunning detail, every diplomatic message, and every moment of pure fashion magic that makes royal watching the ultimate escape from the ordinary.